So hey everybody, welcome back. This is Josh Cantwell, CEO at strategicrealestatecoach.com and Freeland Ventures Real Estate Private Equity. Welcome back to the Strategic Real Estate Coach podcast and interview series. Look forward to actually, just being involved with you today, being present with you, sharing some amazing information with you. Not only about real estate, but today we're going to talk specifically about marketing your business, marketing yourself, building your brand. So whether you're an active real estate investor, a passive real estate investor, or just looking to be a higher performer or an elite entrepreneur, I brought on one of my great friends who I'm involved in a mastermind group. His name is Ian Garlick, and Ian is an expert at marketing. He's an expert at video marketing. And we're going to talk a little bit today about how to set yourself apart and how to really build an amazing brand by sharing your story through marketing, and specifically through video marketing and social platforms. And so we've been planning on having this for a long time, a couple of years actually. I think we've been talking back and forth about getting you on the show, and we finally got you on the show. So welcome. And
thank you.
Give our audience just a little bit of feel about who you are and why are you passionate about video marketing?
Yeah. So, well, first, Josh, thanks for being on the show. I mean, really, you're one of the best at this. I've worked around a lot of people, and I love to be here, and because I know you're serving your community and actually doing it. So, if you're listening to this show, you're listening to the right show if you're doing that. So, thanks for having me on. I love it because about 12, 13 years ago, 15 years ago, I was in real estate in Manhattan, commercial real estate, selling the big buildings. Prior to that, I was a hedge fund trader, and I'd been through 2 collapses, and I'm like, I can't do another collapse. Using marketing, it's like, oh, here's a couple $1 million. Oh, that's gone. Here's a couple $1 million. Oh, it's gone. And we talked about, when you were on my show, we talked about, having control. And one thing I liked about is the harder I worked at marketing, the more control I had. So I got into marketing. Went to work for a large corporation, Fortune 50, as a marketing consultant. And I then started helping medium-sized, small-sized businesses, and realized that all these businesses have stories. And they all have stories to tell. They all really want to serve someone slightly different. We all think, well, there's this big market out here, but there are really lots of little small markets. At the same time, right when I came to this realization, and I remember exactly because I was crossing over the bridge into Manhattan, and I came into this realization listening to Seth Godin talk about authenticity, and how we all need to be authentic, but it's kind of a differentiation. Well, then Google bought YouTube, and I'm like, well, this is going to change how video is getting in front of people. And we're going to be able to use video to get in front of whomever we want. Because I already knew SEO. I knew search engine optimization. I knew how to get things ranking. And I saw coming down the pipeline that this was going to change everything. When Google buys something like YouTube, and YouTube was already doing pretty well, this was going to change everything. So right away, it's been 10 years now, started my own company. Luckily, my now wife had a master's in 3D design and animation from NYU, was working for Nickelodeon. So we had the technical aspect of it down. I had the SEO aspect of it down. And so I just I love it because when you get people, like you've talked about, when people see your videos and you get the right people seeing your videos with great content, telling the story, it transforms your business because people walk in, they know, like, and trust you. They feel like you're not only an authority, but their friend. And there's a whole lot of science I can get into behind it. But when we see someone's face over and over again, and they're giving us good information, we feel like they're a best friend. So, I mean, you've seen it before. People walk in and they're ready to sign on the dotted line before your sales go way down. So that's how I got into it. I'm passionate about it. I love it. Yes, it's gotten more and more competitive, but I think we're just, that what I saw coming 10 years ago, I think we're just hitting that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been telling my audience for years, marketing is sales in print, right? That was more but the print age. And now it's marketing is sales in either video or audio. Because if you can be in front of somebody and tell your story, talk to them as if you're right there in the room with them in a video story or an audio story, they can really hear who you are, what you are, and share that. So, Ian, do you remember back like the first video that you made? Like, I like to go back to the beginning, right? When people are thinking, wow, this is awesome. I'm super passionate for this. And the sort of, all of a sudden the light bulbs pop off. I remember that for me in real estate. How about for you with marketing and specifically with video marketing? I realize you're trying to run away from the next real estate crash. But what was that one big thing that maybe you're like, this is it for me? I love video marketing. I'm going to go all in on this.
Well, I mean, a few different things happened. Like I said, the story, but also from my personal standpoint, when I was working as a marketing consultant, I was working in Long Island and out in New York City. So New York City and Long Island, while they're close, they have two different mindsets. And so I go in Long Island and work with companies. I'm like, you've got to be on the internet. You've got to be ranking. You've got to be doing video marketing. And I'm like, here's all the technicals. I knew way too much about SEO. And I'd be like, blah, 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 vomit all these details all over them. And like their eyes would glaze over. They're like, the internet, is that thing still around? You know, this is, you know, like people are like, didn't believe me that people are looking for their services on the internet. So what I did was I had a few successful clients. I went and made videos of my clients talking about their story and how successful they were. And I used those and people then, it was just like, boom, boom, boom. They'd watch the video. I'm like, here, just watch this video. And it was, you know, using my client's story was just so easy. But then what happened was I started helping getting videos ranking and started getting my clients ranking in YouTube. And one after another, you know, I took a couple companies that were on the verge of collapse in 2008 and transformed them and transformed their businesses. And, you know, and then I helped one attorney come straight out and become the #1 criminal defense attorney in Denver using video. So it's a constant reaffirmation of it. And I have my ups and downs like anyone else, but those were like the stories. It was just like, boom, boom, boom. This stuff really works. And then when my clients are like, I had a client who was she was a therapist, and it was a friend's wife who was like, okay, I'll help you. She's like, I don't want to be on video. And like, we launched her first video, and like 2 days later, she's like, oh my God, this works. And when you hear that, that's for me, like when people tell me how it's working and transforming their businesses, and someone shows me their house they bought because of what we did, I'm like, that's the best thing in the world.
Right. That's killer. Now, you've produced over 2,000, you know, very well professionally done, storyboarded videos for clients. Mm-hmm. Give us give my audience a quick idea. What kind of clients? You've mentioned criminal defense. You've mentioned some different things like that. Give me an idea of just the broad range of some of the different clients that you have, so they can understand some of the niches that you've worked in. And then we'll maybe start to build out a little bit of a plan here. If somebody wanted to build a real estate or you know, some kind of new video for their business, what would be the first thing they would think of? So just tell us a little bit about your client base and what kind of videos you've created for them.
So yeah, so I mean, anyone that provides a service. So I've started in legal marketing for large law firms in New York. As you can, that was as tough as possible. I mean, right. One of my first clients, I walked in, he was already a client of the company, and he threatened to throw me out the window. I'm like, all right. So and I had done nothing. But I realized I love helping service companies, especially medium-sized, small-sized service companies, because service companies, you can build one up and you really help people's lives. You're not just producing a widget, but you're really transforming people's lives, and you get something out of it. So yeah, we've worked with attorneys, doctors. We're doing a lot in the stem cell industry right now. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. I've helped commercial real estate brokers, regular residential real estate brokers, brokerages, timeshare, hotel chains, and anyone that provides a service, we've helped with video.
Got it. Yeah, and that's basically what my audience is doing, right? So our audience is both active and passive real estate investors, and also just elite entrepreneurs and high performers, really looking to take their life and their business to the next level. So let's jump in. Ian, you've created all these videos. You have a marketing course, multiple marketing courses. You're a best-selling author. You work in lots of different industries. So I have a bunch of high-level coaching students and clients that are looking to, you know, really impress upon, you know, their local market that they're the go-to real estate expert. They're the go-to, whether it's actively investing, flipping properties, or buying apartments, or maybe raising money. So if one of my clients came to you or one of my coaching students and said, look, I'm a real estate investor, and I'm in XYZ city, and I need a strategic advantage, and I want to look at video marketing to help me get a leg up so I can impress upon my potential clients, people who want to sell me properties, or people that want to invest with me. I want to be a sponsor of a deal, but I got to have this professional image so that when people come to me, they're already kind of predisposed and predispositioned to doing business with me. And I don't want to do the heavy lifting. I want the video to do the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
Help me understand, where do we start? How would somebody start working with you? And what are some things they should be considering if they're going to use video as a weapon?
So the number one thing I tell people with video marketing and marketing, especially digital marketing on in general, is it's just an extension of what you would do in real life. Okay. So treat the video and the people on the other side of the video like a real person. I see people go right in for the kill and they just want to sell. But you've talked about, and you're great at being authentic, telling your story, but treating them like you want them to really succeed. So I think that is the crucial mindset that you need to get into. Don't worry about selling, worry about helping. And the way we do that is, everyone's heard of the customer journey, and I'm sure you've talked about it before, but what a lot of people talk about when they talk about the customer journey, client journey, is they maybe pick out a special person, an avatar, maybe they don't. That's the number one thing. You got to know who exactly you're talking to. Hey, Josh lives in Cleveland. He's a 7, 8 figure entrepreneur, does this, coaches basketball. Know everything about that person, but then know their journey. Because don't start with video. Know their journey. Know where they are. And when I say that, I don't mean, okay, they opt in, then they go, to an 5 email series, then they watch this email platform, then I'm going to put them in YouTube. Then that's your journey. That's what you as a business owner, and that's your journey. Their journey is they don't know they have a problem. Maybe they're, if you're looking for if you're looking for investors or you're looking for property, and maybe they don't know that they want to sell their property. Then they think they're going to sell the property. Then they're going to, or buy a property. Now they're looking to buy a property. Now they're looking to do things on their own. Now they're looking on the internet. And each point along the way, once you understand that whole journey, through the time they become a client, how you onboard them, through they start talking about you. At each point in the journey now, what you do is once you've mapped that out, you go, okay, what are the stories I need to tell them? What if I was sitting next to Josh on, he's driving in his car, he's thinking about investing in real estate, doesn't know where to go. He wants his money to go someplace else. He's not really so happy with the markets. They're really agitated right now. What would you tell him? You wouldn't say, hey, Josh, invest in my real estate course, or Josh, give me all your money. Right. You would give him advice. And that's when you start thinking like that along each scene. When you start thinking that way and you start having those stories like, oh, let me tell you the story of this person that was in your same situation. You start thinking that way. Now you list out all those stories and now you make videos of them. And all you have to do is go, okay, what does this person want right now? What do they want to get away from? What's their problem? And what do they want to go towards? Josh is upset about the markets. He wants a stable income. He wants to know his money is in a stable place.
Right.
He needs to find a real estate investor who understands the markets and not try and do it himself. So that's the structure of it. Now you just go boom, 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 and you start creating those videos. And now we decide, well, where are these guys? Well, Josh is in his car, so maybe he's on a podcast. Maybe he puts YouTube up and listens to it. A lot of people are doing that.
Right.
The last part's the platform. So many people go straight to the platform. They're like, I'm going to do LinkedIn video. What am I going to talk about? That's the last part. And so that's how we work. It's actually our storyboard strategy blueprint, which I'm going to give access to the videos for it and the blueprints, a 3-page blueprint for your audience too.
Nice. Great. So we start with, what do they want their audience to learn about them? What do we want their audience what problem they might have, the audience.
What problem that does the audience have at each step along the way? And the more you can help them, like you, I mean, your 9 ways to stop procrastination. That's you helping your audience. And it's you genuinely helping your audience. It's nor is it about real estate, nor is it anything about that, but it gets your audience engaged and thinking that way. How can you help them? How can you serve them? And then what will happen too is when you start putting these videos out, guess what? If you're looking for an investor, if you're looking to sell a property, if you're looking to buy a property, someone sees your name, what's the first thing they do? They Google it.
Right.
And when they start seeing all these videos and they start seeing who you are and start watching it, guess what? They're going to feel like they know, like, and trust you by the time they walk through your door. So that building up that content is super important.
Yeah. When I'm teaching my coaching students about real estate, I always tell them, look, if you're working with a motivated seller who wants to sell a property and they say, yes, I want to sell it and I want to sell it to you. Really what they're saying is maybe I want to sell it to you. Let me go do some research on you first. So when you walk out of the house, let's say you have a contract signed to buy the property or they're thinking about selling it to you. You walk out the door, you're walking to your car. The client or the potential client is turning to their computer and they're looking for your information. Mm-hmm. And if you have an amazing video that's storyboarded, branded, that tells who you are, what you do, that's going to close the sale.
Yep.
Same thing when it comes to raising money. I tell my audience, funding equals freedom. People that get free from real estate have funding to buy and own cash flowing assets, rental properties, rehabs, apartment buildings. Same thing with a private lender. So a private lender comes in, you meet with them, make them a presentation. They're thinking about investing passively. You walk out the door, you leave the restaurant. What's the first thing they're doing? They're going to their phone, they're opening up YouTube or Google, they're looking you up to see if you're trustworthy. And the only way to tell that story and protect your brand and image is to have content out there. And video, audio content is what Ian and I are both passionate for. And so once you create the video, right, you have the video. A lot of people are thinking, okay, now I got the video done. It's an asset. It tells my story of who I am and how I can help people. I know I'm targeting it towards a certain avatar or a certain person. But what do I do with the video? Like, what do I do with this podcast? Where do I put it? How do I find out where my audience is? Or what are some different basics to start with? Do I just throw it up in YouTube and link it to my Facebook? So when you have somebody kind of getting going and maybe they think, I want to get my brand out there, I want to get my company out there, but I know I want to do video, but then what do I do with the video? I don't want to just have it sit on my hard drive. Where do they go next?
So yeah, now we're looking at those scenes in the story. We're looking at, and I'm using your name, Josh, but we're looking at Josh's storyboard. We're like, what is his journey? So at each point in the journey, you're thinking, where is Josh? What is he doing right now? Is he, after the meeting, is he Googling your name? Right. So if he's Googling your name, well, then you need to optimize that for search. You need to make sure that's showing up with SEO. You're making sure that's showing up for your name and what videos you want to show up. Not only your story, but the stories of the people that you've helped. If you're trying to sell a property, you're making sure that there's people that you've bought or have bought properties from you. If you're trying to buy someone's property, vice versa. So you're thinking, what are these things that they're searching for? Now, if it's earlier on in the journey and you need to get in front of them, if you need to interrupt them, now you're thinking, where are they learning about things? Where are they getting? So So I always think there's two things: intention or attention. Intention is SEO. So if they have an intention of they're already looking for something, put these videos on Google, put them on YouTube. Make sure that you're optimizing for what you think they're searching for. What are the questions that they're asking? And the more of those questions you can get, because someone's not just Googling real estate investments, they're going best real estate investments, what we call long tail search. Tons of different questions that you can answer for them, both on YouTube and Google. Now, if you're looking to get someone's attention, you need to disturb them, you need to agitate them. If they're, that Josh has a property for sale, they might think about selling. Where is Josh hanging out? Is he on LinkedIn? Is he, is it an attorney that owns a bunch of properties that you want him to sell the properties to? Well, start getting on LinkedIn, start being in front of him there, getting his attention there. Is it on Facebook? Are they on Facebook The great part about Facebook ads, by the way, is from an attention standpoint, Facebook is not the only place that video ads sit. So if you run a video ad, yes, it goes on Facebook, also can go on Instagram. Great, another great place to be if your demographics there. But Facebook also has an audience network. So they have an advertising network. So we've seen our video ads on Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Investors Business Daily, in apps. So if it's earlier on and you're trying to get their attention, realize that your video, your story could be on Wall Street Journal in a video format when someone's reading something and you're getting their attention. But understanding that customer journey, what you want to accomplish, first of all, in that customer journey. Are you trying to get their attention or intention? That will guide it. Sorry for the long answer.
Perfect. Well, I think a lot of my audience and a lot of the different folks that we talk to, they're either, again, entrepreneurs building businesses, real estate investors, active or passive, and they're not, video experts. So they can kind of do this on their own. And Ian's gonna give us access to his marketing course and share that with us. And that'll be in the show notes, and that'll be right inside of the podcast. You can go grab that. But also, if somebody wanted you to do this for them, you have an agency, right? So tell us a little bit more about the agency. Do you guys, fly into someone's market and actually storyboard this out for them and shoot the video, cut it, edit it, produce all that stuff and market it for them? Is it full service, or do they do some of it? You guys do some of it? How does it work?
So once we do that strategy session with you, and we charge for it, but it's 100% money back guarantee. If you do the strategy session with us, that money goes towards your video. We create your strategy and we go, these are the videos that we'll create. We'll create your top level videos, your 12 to 20 to 50 videos that are professional, awesome looking. We'll also help you capture your client and customer stories. We can fly to you. You can fly to us. We also have a videographer network that are trained in our systems. So we have those around. But also in that strategy, I'm going to suggest to you making some videos on yourself on a regular basis, because you got to get somewhat decent at video. If you're going to be a marketer, you've got to be, you've got to be able to, and also sometimes, the cameras in these phones are amazing. You can do a ton with them. Yeah. But we will create that strategy and we work with you with making the videos, optimizing them. We do some basic ads, but we work with great ad agencies, Facebook ad agencies. We work with great email marketers. We work with other people that if that's what we need right now, we will help you with that. But we will create the content, edit it down and give it to you, and then guide you where it should be going. Nice.
So moving forward, help me understand for you personally, right? So I always like to get a take from everybody that I interview, not only about their passion, building their business and how they can help my audience, but I also like to hear from them specifically about their own journey as an entrepreneur. Your entrepreneurial journey started, New York City, doing commercial real estate, got a passion for marketing and specifically video marketing, but you have an agency, you have a team, you have staff, you're an entrepreneur, you've got your own fixed and variable expenses, you're building your own business. You have a lot of the same challenges that I have and that my clients and students have of just building a company. So what kind of advice could you give us just about things that have worked well for you, whether they're life hacks or business hacks, just to be a successful entrepreneur? Are there certain ways that you run your calendar, or certain ways or different things you do with your team to build a raving, amazing culture? What are some different hacks that you have just to be an elite entrepreneur in the business that you're running?
So from a team building standpoint, really hiring for culture. We talk about it, in Mastermind, hiring for culture, and then, and finding people with some of the skill set. But if you're going to put in there, train them, always be training, always be, enforcing the learning. And one of the things I do always when I'm hiring someone is I figure out this exact thing I did with the customer journey blueprint, I do with the person I'm hiring, and I write a letter to them. I'm like, this is the person I want, and this is what they're thinking. And it's not just like, here's the skill sets and whatever. I write a letter to the person that I want to hire. So that's definitely helped. The big thing I've learned is staying focused. We talked about before in marketing, is staying focused, not trying to learn everything yourself, but finding the right partners, the right people, and surround yourself with the right people. I'm blessed enough to know someone like yourself, the people that we have at Total CEO. Find those right people, because if that group that you're around doesn't feel right, then you need to get out of there. But you do need to surround yourself with people, because being an entrepreneur is lonely. So, if they're in your groups, that's great. Find people within the groups too. If you're be a mentor, find a mentor. But your community is huge. So people should be, if they're listening to this, they should be taking advantage of it and giving as much advice and finding those people to surround themselves with. I think that those are some of the big ones. Like I said, staying focused and knowing that there's going to be a downturn and there's going to be an upturn. There's going to be, there's going to be if you're at the top, don't think that you're going to stay at the top forever, because it's going to crash at some point. It's just, you got to prepare for it, and you got to go, okay, that's going to happen. I'm looking around the corner. I know that's going to happen. I'm going to be prepared for it mentally as much as I can. But also, when you're at that low, know that if you keep pushing, you're going to get quote unquote lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. The lows are never as low as you think. The highs are never as good as you think. One of the key attributes of being a successful entrepreneur is being steady. One of the things that I found that elite entrepreneurs and high performers is they're steady. They're steady leaders. They don't freak out when things are going kind of sideways, and they also don't get too excited when things are going great. They just kind of stay on the path. So Ian, for you, when you think about your video agency and your training program that you have for video marketing, what do you see on the horizon with video in the next 5 to 10 years? And how big is video going to get? I mean, obviously people love to watch television. They're streaming all kinds of stuff on their mobile devices, from television to YouTube to Facebook and Hulu and Roku, and all these amazing things are happening with digital media and specifically video. What are you positioning yourself for? What are your goals, and what do you see on the horizon over the long term, over the next 5 to 10 years with video?
Well, I mean, I definitely think that everyone needs to have an association with someone that can help capture the video, high quality video for them, and find the stories, but also do the stories themselves. So, I'm looking to train more people in our systems outside of here, because the one thing about a local videographer is you sometimes need someone. I mean, there's only some places I can travel. So that's one of the places we're going, is we're helping to coach more video agencies on our systems.
Nice.
And because the big thing I think for people to remember is that people's attention span is going to get smaller. So you can't just put stuff out there. You've got to start thinking really about that person. And then as long as you've got your stories and your content down, be paying attention to it. I feel like, Netflix and Amazon Video are going to go much more the way of small bits of entertainment, edutainment type stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to see more and more and more of that. And that's every business's opportunity, because they're going to be low barriers to entry. You can get on Amazon Video pretty easily. I feel like people are going to start being able to get on Netflix pretty easily. Obviously, YouTube's super easy. But video's not going away. And the big thing to remember is the authenticity part, because there's going to be authenticity and consistency, because people are going to want to connect with someone. We're getting more, social media is getting us more disconnected. So video is your opportunity to really connect, but you have to be trying to connect, not just trying to sell people. It's going to get bigger. It's going to change. We're going to be using our devices more and more, especially, once cars start driving themselves, you're going to be able to sit and watch videos all the time
while we're driving, which is bananas, right? Sure, but that's going to happen.
It's going to happen. And, we're going to have to think about it, build our audiences and serve them. Yeah. I think the big thing to remember is Josh, you've got a huge audience, but you don't need a huge audience to influence a lot of people. Right. I was just listening to Make Your Bed. I don't know if you've read that book.
I haven't, no.
It's really good. It's a short book. It's a
former, like an audiobook?
Yeah, it's an audiobook and a written book, but it's a former Navy SEAL. He's the former admiral. Phenomenal book. But in his talk, he says, if we just change influence 10 people's lives over the course of our life, and they influence 10 people, within 5 generations, your influence will have influenced the entire world. So
nice.
Just 10 people. If you can stop thinking so big, because we see these influencers and we see these numbers. Get away from the numbers, go towards the influence, and you will. If you just try and influence a few people, you'll get more and more and more. So
nice. So I'm curious, as we kind of round third here and head for home and wrap up. I'm curious, what's the craziest, if you can tell me, what's the craziest video project or craziest type of client that you've ever worked on? What project do you remember thinking like, oh my God, that was awesome the way it turned out? Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe I worked with that person on this project. It was nuts. I always hear every entrepreneur's got a crazy story. I'm sure you got one. What do you think?
I mean, I've worked on a lot of cool stuff, a lot of small businesses. Working in the legal field, it's both. It's intensely happy and intensely sad, because it's usually, I mean, if someone's with an attorney, it's a horrible situation.
Yeah.
So, those are pretty crazy. And then stem cells, the reason we got into it is I'm just seeing it transform people's lives. And we're telling the stories of these people that, were dying from asthma, and, I just finished a video with this guy, Zach, who, the video should be coming out, but basically he's 27. He has 4 kids. His heart's seizing up, and he saved up money for stem cells. And then his wife and his unborn child were killed 3 months ago. And it's just like, you're sitting there and the guy's just completely like, oh, this is just matter of fact. Lost, has no money, and he got stem cell treatment donated to him. And just seeing these people's lives start to transform is phenomenal. And then, we're finishing up a video for, I'm pretty sure, you've been from the Midwest, Fran Tarkenton.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So we're finishing up some videos for him. And I've done a lot of videos where people talk about their culture and Tarkenton Financial. What I got to do is work through and work with all their financial advisors and people that they've helped, and interview everyone, including Fran. And it's like, that to me was one of the most amazing ones, because he's built 20 companies, but he's still he answers the phone for everyone, and everyone in there tells a story of how he's transformed their lives.
Really? Wow. Yeah.
And he's 80 something. I'm at his house shooting video of him at a dinner party, and the guy doesn't stop moving. He's serving everyone food, serving them drinks. He has staff there. He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
So it was, it's just like, you see that. Yeah, that emotion. When I get those inspiring stories, man, that's to me is just like, I'm still doing something good.
That's fantastic. Well, guys, listen, couple resources for our audience. First of all, Ian's company is called Authentic Web Media. You can look them up on the web. Of course, they have an amazing Facebook presence and YouTube presence. Being a video digital marketing company and agency. So look them up. Also, Ian has hosted over 250 of his own interviews and podcasts. You can check out the Garlic Marketing Show on iTunes and other video platforms. So make sure you check them out. And if you're looking to have a splash video that will really set you apart in your own marketing, whether it's for raising capital, whether it's just for building your own entrepreneurial business, taking your business to the next level, make sure you check out the show notes, and the links we'll have in the show notes for Ian and his company. Reach out to them and look to engage them for your video marketing needs. Ian, last thing is, I always like to ask our guests, if you look back at your entrepreneurial journey over the last, 5 years, 10 years, this process, right? It is a process. We talked about the highs and the lows. If you look back, what is the number one piece of advice that you would give your maybe younger former self about your journey, about your entrepreneurial process?
Staying focused staying focused. And I would have personally been generating more video content the entire way myself. That helps people, because it's the one thing I've realized too, is that there's a threshold, and the more you create, the faster you get through the thresholds. So I wish I would have done more of that. Fantastic.
Awesome stuff, Ian. So any final words, parting shots, or any other resources that we forgot to give our audience before we wrap up here?
Yeah, I mean, you can always go to irongarlic.com, but seriously, anyone that works with Josh is a friend of mine. If you go to my Facebook page and message me on Facebook, I will answer you whatever your questions you want. Feel free, just hit me up on Facebook. That's the one place. If you email me, it's going to go in a black hole. So right,
the ether of it, the email ether.
Yeah. So, but yeah, feel free to hit me up on Facebook. I'm here to help you guys. I want you to succeed, and know that if you're listening to this podcast and you take Josh's advice, you're going to succeed.
Fantastic. Well, guys, listen, that was another episode of the Strategic Real Estate Coach Podcast and interview series. I hope you enjoyed learning more and more about video marketing, Ian Garlic and his company, Authentic Web Media. If you enjoyed the podcast and enjoyed this, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know how we did. Again, we want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's the only way for us to learn from each other and engage and work together to build your business and take you to the next level. So I appreciate you being here. Ian, thanks so much for joining me today. I really had a lot of fun.
Josh, thank you so much.
All right, you guys, take care. We'll see you soon. Go out, buy some properties, invest, be daring, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.